Hello, I'm Lynn Jarvis, contributing editor for Across the Fence, and I'm joined by WCAX TV Sharon Meyer for a tour of Spain in the springtime. And Sharon, you found a very special guide for our adventure today.
Oh, yes, I did.
This is a very exciting trip for us, not only because we get to explore beautiful Spain, but also because we get to catch up with Jordi Aguilo. We first met Jordi when he was just 14 years old. He came over from Spain to spend a month in the summer learning English, and then he came back during his 16th year to be a foreign exchange student at the South Burlington High School. So we are his American family.
Well, welcome to Spain, first of all, everybody. Here we are in Madrid, capital of Spain. We have some good plans ahead these 2 days. We're gonna see some nice parks. There's a park called Retiro, I'm sure you would like it. We'll see some of the most historical and important sites with a lot of history, of Spanish history. And we'll try to get some flamenco too at night. And of course, when we get tired, yeah, we'll get some good food, good tapas.
And we'll start right here in the Royal Botanical Gardens, and although close to city center, it feels like you're miles away. Madrid's climate is quite mild year-round, and on this April day, many were enjoying the spring blossoms along with us. Established in 1755 by King Ferdinand VI, the gardens spread over 20 acres that are home to some 30,000 plants and flowers. They're also used for research with state-of-the-art greenhouses dedicated to maintaining the delicate local ecosystem. One obvious character detrimental to a delicate ecosystem is this green parrot who strips the branches for nest building. We're now at Retiro Park, the largest in Madrid, some 350 acres filled with blooms, sculptures, galleries, and a lake where rowboats are rented. It belonged to Spanish royalty until 1868, when it became a public park, and it's very popular with locals and tourists alike. This monument, dedicated to Alfonso, King of Spain for 29 years, is the dominant feature, taking 22 artists almost 30 years to complete. Astride a bronze steed nearly 100 feet in the sky, Alfonso will forever gaze out over his kingdom.
With Jordi as our guide, we climbed aboard one of those hop-on, hop-off buses for a look at some of the highlights of Madrid. Puerta del Sol, or Sun Gate, was our first stop, and a couple of excellent xylophone players were here to entertain. Once located on the eastern side of Madrid, with a medieval gate decorated with the rising sun, it is now city center for the more than 3 million inhabitants, and a place where locals and tourists alike stop to get their bearings with a glass of wine and plan their day. Political rallies are held here, and all of Spain watches this clock tower for the countdown on New Year's Eve. And just in front is this spot marking the very center of Madrid, that is surrounded by shops, restaurants, and a lot of history. So now to choose a direction and start exploring. Just a few minutes walk from the Sun Gate is Plaza Meyer, once a meeting place for traders from nearby towns. It has played host to a variety of activities throughout history, including bullfights, soccer matches, and executions during the Spanish Inquisition. It's still a meeting place, but now for tourists from around the world who come to savor the atmosphere of this historic place. The Royal Palace is Madrid's largest building, and many consider it the most beautiful. It has 3,418 rooms and is the largest palace in Europe, now used mostly for official state ceremonies. In front of the palace is an impressive statue of King Philip IV, who ruled Spain for 44 years.
We hopped back on the bus to head for City Hall and got a close-up look at these ornamental trees that were in full bloom. A little too close, I thought. And soon it came into view.
Wow. Wow was right.
Since being built in 1909, this building has served many purposes: the headquarters for the Postal Service, a museum, and in 2007, converted into this beautiful City Hall. The facade of City Hall is the perfect backdrop for Madrid's most beautiful fountain, the Fuente de las Cibeles. It's been adopted by the soccer team Real Madrid, and after a victory, fans gather here to celebrate and wrap the team flag around Cibeles in honor of another win by their popular team that's been around since 1902.
We're having lunch at La Traviesa, a nice restaurant here in Madrid along one of the walking streets. Here are some of the menu choices for today. Pork hooves, stewed bull tail, veal cheek, steam-style beef tripe, and the last one is grilled pork snout. Now, I think I'll pass those and just start with some nice cold sangria. I opted for lentil soup made with white beans and pork in a spicy tomato sauce. Just delicious. Spaniards embrace homemade and locally grown, and to experience this, join us as we explore one of Madrid's oldest markets, San Miguel. On our last night in Madrid, we were able to get tickets to see Cardamomo, and their ad read, "The only flamenco show recommended by the New York Times. Enjoy along with us." Olé!
The next morning, we made our way to Atocha station for our 90-minute train ride to Valencia to meet Jordi's family. What an amazing place. Under the station's arched skylight is an enormous tropical garden. Over 7,000 plants adorn the garden, including a pond that's home to many species of fish and turtles. We stayed in the comfortable and spacious apartment of Jordi's sister-in-law, Sylvia, and her husband, Rafael, and we were made to feel right at home. Starting off with a home-cooked meal.
This is an Spanish omelet.
Salud.
And enjoying the meal along with Lynn and me are my husband, Rainey, and Marco Ayala, the video editor for our show today. A super meal, and we got our first bite of Valencia orange just picked from the tree. It was delicious. The next day at the beautiful Valencia beach with the Mediterranean in the background, we met up with Jordi, his wife Noe, and son Pau. The port of Valencia is the largest in Spain with some 15,000 workers. With a busy marina for the many boating enthusiasts in the city of some 800,000 people, including Luna and her proud owner.
Hola Luna,
Beautiful.
We had a wonderful visit and a scrumptious meal with Tony Montelou, the owner of restaurant Barraca. He's known throughout Valencia as a chef extraordinaire, specializing in his locally grown organic produce like this fennel.
Estos son pelles, mira. Para comer esto. No, pero no pasa nada.
This is the part
Esto
that
también
you
se, a ver, esto también se come.
You can eat this as well.
Yeah, don't hand it to me. It's like I'm not going to eat it.
Tony's a food writer and does a cooking show on a local television station. We were honored when on his day off he opened the gardens and restaurant just for us.
¿Cómo has dicho que diga?
It's me.
Es mí, es mí, es mí. Soy yo.
Salud. The paella is cooking.
So you can know how to make this and you don't?
It's bueno?
Good. Very good, very good, very good. Mm.
Wow.
Oh,
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Important part.
Good job. We know them. You know, the other one is bald, so
Bueno, quiero limar ahora el això com se diu, pollastre con
Before we left Tony, he brought us to his orange grove, and we were able to pick Valencia oranges right from the tree. And we learned something new, that orange trees can produce fruit and blossoms at the same time, making for a year-round harvest. What a gracious host Tony has been, so kind and generous, and a super chef. It's a day we'll always remember.
Valencia is a place of contrasts, and we are at the City of Arts and Sciences built on the site of a now dry riverbed. It is fast becoming one of Spain's top tourist attractions since dedicated in 1996 to celebrate the arrival of the 21st century. Some say it looks as though it might have been beamed down from another planet. As a matter of fact, this is where the Disney movie Tomorrowland with George Clooney was filmed. Among the attractions are a performing arts center, science museum, aquarium, and this IMAX theater. This activity is known as waterball, and if your balance allows, you can feel the sensation of walking on water. Carrie allowed me to video her first attempt. Let's see how she does.
Oh, there she goes.
We'll check back with her later.
In complete contrast is the Plaza of the Virgin, that since Roman days has maintained the true vision of Valencia through the centuries. It breathes with history, hosting 3 buildings of huge importance, one being the center of government for more than 5 million people, the Corts Valencians. And with Jordi's father as a guide, he's a lawyer for the regional parliament, we got a personal tour of this impressive building. And for 60 seconds, we got to make the rules, but nobody paid any attention to us. The Basilica of Our Lady of the Forsaken, built on the site of a Roman temple, is home to the patroness saint of Valencia, the Virgin Mary. Everything inside revolves around her statue. She appears with a lily in one hand, carrying baby Jesus in the other, who carries a cross in his hands. Overhead is an elaborate fresco painted by Antonia Palomero, honoring the Holy Mother and the Basilica, the city's first hospital, dating from the early 1400s.
And considered the most important site, with construction started in 1238, is the Cathedral of Valencia. Changes and additions went on for centuries, resulting in many artistic styles, making it a jewel of universal architecture. Inside, we saw this Valencian chalice and were astonished to learn that many historians believe that the chalice, dating back to the 1st century, is the most likely candidate for being the one used at the Last Supper. Now let's check back with Carrie to see how she is doing in the water ball. I think she's getting the knack of it. Well, maybe not. Well, that's it for today. From all of us here in Valencia, Spain, I'm Len Jarvis for Across the Fence. Thank you for watching.